All right. So, Atari, we're going to go over your time skip. It's pronounced like time skip plus or just time skip with the P plus being like a
I
nice
think it's
visual
just time
thing?
skip, but they did like the capital P and then the plus because it's P plus. I think it's just I've heard people just call it time skip.
That's much easier than time skip plus.
Time time skip plus
Time skip
is what it is.
plus. Yeah.
It really let the air escape your mouth when you pronounce the last P.
You got Daffy Duck time skip
Times.
plus. All right. So you played. We're going to. Excuse me. You try to go over your Tia set, your Darkgun set, and then your Yono set.
Okay.
So, like I was saying a minute ago, I will be having a 5 minute alarm, so that I will just be recurring. So, as this alarm goes off, it will be a reminder to me to shut the hell up about whatever weird box I'm talking about, and just move
Yes.
on, make my point, move on, and we can keep going at a good pace through this.
Sick.
All right, hit the button. Okay. So, the obvious, like the big thing to play around with the Ike matchup is going to be that platform is rough. Is going to
Yeah.
be the quick draw.
Hmm.
Ike's control of like the horizontal space is really, really powerful if he has the time to start it. But even here, actually, so you can see as you kind of like keep Tia cornered here, you hit her out of this quick draw attempt because she's basically this side B attempt is guessing that you're going to retreat and dash dance and bait out like a more universal option than like a grab attempt or something to hit you in this zone instead of what you did end up baiting out the character specific option of go back side B begin side B good move.
Yeah.
So this is a really good message to send so early in a set that hey, your character specific thing, I'm gonna play around it. You're gonna have to worry about that.
Yeah. So I did ask Yono for advice before my set because I was a little unsure, and the big thing he told me was just like basically run at them. Don't let them charge quick draw for free.
Mm-hmm. That is really, really good advice in this matchup, especially as a faster character. So here, you lose your jump. It's kind of hard to see with the Twitch VODs do it, but you do
Yeah.
lose your
There's the
jump
ring.
here. Yeah. This kind of situation is one where you take your lumps after getting hit by that quick draw attack with that DI. I can't go back any more precisely than that, unfortunately. But
Yeah, that's fair. Twitch
so,
mods are pretty lame.
yeah, so you roll in here, you get clipped by this, you realize, okay, I've DI'd close. They're gonna either get because even if you can jump out here, right? This is really almost a position you'd rather not jump out.
Yeah.
Because
I have a bad habit of trying to SDI too early, and usually that results in me like tap jumping before I
oh
get hit.
yeah, you might want to just SDI horizontally in that way, or
Yeah.
use the C stick to go vertical, like for that upwards 45, and then use the control stick for the downwards.
Okay.
45.
Yeah. Left with. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Just because this, especially as Roy, like this is gonna get you killed a ton.
Yeah. For sure.
And then it's gonna feel bad because like it wasn't even a decision you made; it was just like an accident.
Yeah. Also, that full hop right there was a flipped wave dash. I hate when I do that
Oh, to get to ledge.
to get the ledge. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that would have given you the onstage punish. But as long as you know that it was a mistake. Oh no, you got the hard part.
I literally did.
So this is basically how you edge guard the character, right? Like this is
Yeah.
really, really good. You want to cut off because I can either get horizontal recovery or I can get vertical recovery. Let me actually change that a little bit. I can get like vertical recovery, but it's usually not both unless they have access to a wall. So
Yeah.
being able to just like put the hitbox out here either forces Tia to, well, I guess in general forces Ike to either not commit to this so early next time, to commit their jump to it to be up here, which is still pretty scary if they even have it, or to go down here and then just kind of like hope you don't have a good answer to up B or like you mess up the timing again or something. So putting yourself here at that same horizontal plane is really, really good. You can just stick your move out, they run into it, or they die.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I've never done that before.
It's all good. That's one of those tiny things. It's like between kind of how not like super unique, but how weird that was, and then you were at 110. Like it's a little bit of like a shake it off moment.
Yeah.
I also like your bait with side B there to throw off the timing after you had already shown that you were willing to intercept it on the previous time.
Yeah. That's a bait that I like to do with characters with like recoveries they have to commit to kind of early. Like for example, against Mewtwo, I'm super willing to like jump out there, do a reverse side B, because if they teleport early, then I can react and get a punish. If not, I can just react to them drifting the stage.
Yeah. It's a really good position to put yourself in. As a fast follower like Roy. With Marth, it's a little less great. But especially with your sweet spot being better against CC because it's close. Mm-hmm. Oh, is that another SDI?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, it was very weird. That up tilt. I definitely did not expect that up tilt.
Yeah, that turnaround up tilt
that was very good.
Puts you in a really weird spot. And a little bit of it is like kind of.
Yeah, I got memed by turnaround up tilt twice. Holy crap!
When we have the opportunity to kind of go back and watch the VOD though, it is a little bit of like like a Jeopardy question, right? So like, especially with that SDI, so you go straight up. The only great option here is turnaround up tilt, maybe like nair into the plat or like back air to just get the damage.
Yeah.
Where back air never results in a kill.
I expected back air. Like full hop back air.
It's definitely the easiest move to hit here, but it also, you don't have to like DI it. Mm-hmm. Like there's nothing you can do that's going to make back air like kill you, and there's nothing that you can do that's going to make back air not have a follow-up because it already doesn't in any circumstance here. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So basically I need to stop just like mashing up on my control stick.
That would help with the rings for sure, with the double jumps.
Yeah.
But also kind of... And this is a weird situation, so I'm not trying to like nitpick. It's like, oh, you should have been aware of this. But in situations like this, where like back air, even with the worst possible DI, like TAS levels, you're not dying. You're probably not even going off stage, frankly, without grabbing a ledge first.
Yeah. So
there's no need to DI for this move because back air. So let's say right, bear ends. We'll say it's 18% or it's a fair bit of percent. It's stage, but it ends the combo. It ends the threatening of a kill or of an extension. So we'll call it an ender. I don't like categorizing moves as enders or starters in Smash because the percents are so whack.
But you can say like a good combo has like a decent ender at the end of it.
Yeah.
If you just do like 4 like Roy forward airs, like it was a combo, but you had no ender, didn't really do anything unless you gimped them. But again, Smash is weird.
Yeah, it is kind of like more of a combo thing than a move thing because like bear up throw bear is the Ike thing at 0, and that's a combo extender. So this is in this combo, this bear would end the combo versus even and like turn up tilt's a pretty like kind of unique way to approach the situation, but we don't have to necessarily know what they're gonna do. It can just be like something else. And the idea, the kind of like logic here is if the bear ends the combo and alleviates the pressure you're in, then something else would either have to do excel in some other way, right? So like maybe run through you bear. It's like, oh, that could get more stage. Or that might be an optimization even, depending on how much hit stun you have. Or maybe it's, nair up air, and that doesn't kill, and it kind of doesn't really get more stage, but it's more damage. Mm-hmm. And in this case, what she chose was, turnaround up tilt, because that doesn't end the combo.
Yeah.
And for the most part, the only thing, at like 60 at least in this situation, only thing you should really be super worried about here is the ability to extend a combo or the ability to like get you off stage at low percent. So like And this is not something that you can always think about during a set against a character that is not like in your hands yet. Like you haven't like if you played against Falcon, every week for 4 years, this stuff is like automatic decisions almost.
Yeah.
But when you have to think, this is more like when you have a moment to think, or in between games, or like, oh, I know I'm going to be playing Tia, she plays Ike. Let me start thinking about comments like up throw at 0, right? So this is something to kind of recognize that the risk of trying to DI away from a possible, like in this case, up tilt, right? If you tried to DI down and away from a turnaround up tilt when we're expecting it, suddenly a run through bear sends you here. So it's not always like, I don't want to come across like this is something you should always do, but it is a little bit of like fear of the unknown. Taking the one back air and knowing you're fine, back air sends you on stage here, knowing you're fine. Oops, that's an eraser. And knowing you're fine is fine. Like, that is not something you have to worry about. You can't do anything that would make that hurt you. So, okay, I've gone over. So even though this was a very creative extension, and it's kind of one of the reasons you don't see it all the time is because you almost are able to jump out, and it requires a very low nair, and you not DIing the nair away. It's like a very conditional extension. But
yeah,
when you see these like back up a little bit, you see these brief moments of like, wait, what am I going to get hit by? If you can kind of like recall that you aren't in like danger of kill percent or something, and be like, oh, she's going to go for nair, and even if it's something different, if you kind of choose between combo DI and survival DI based on those brief moments and stage position, then it can keep you from. It's really disheartening to hit something kind of wacky like this and they just DI it right. So it can give you a lot more mileage on your stock, even like, even just numbers aside. Like it can kind of frustrate the opponent a little bit sometimes. Ooh. I like you trying to snipe the jump there. I think that was
it. That was a side B.
Yeah, I know that wasn't counter. It was one of those positions.
I was trying to fast fall through the platform and then side B, and I just didn't hit side fast enough. It actually happened against Darkgun too, but the counter actually hit somehow. It was very funny. And that was the other thing. If they do quick draw, just go to a platform and shield.
Because Ike's aerials are beefy, but for the most part, this is something that they can mess up or not do great.
Yeah, Tia, I don't know why she full hopped with the nair. She can short hop nair and like hit my shield just fine.
Might be like a follow up kind of. Because if she gets the full hop nair on this, she could follow up with up air, which would kill you if it was late hit.
Yeah.
Plus, there's also the possibility that she wanted to fall off here and just wasn't fast enough with whatever she did.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you're 100% right that going to the plat removes the threat of getting grabbed, at least near as quickly. And honestly, the scariest position to be in out of that situation is if you're in shield here, and then Ike's down here with the big sword, and threatening the pressure. How big is the sword? Sword's big, right?
Sword's pretty big. Big sword.
Like threatening with up tilt, threatening with short hop nair, short hop up air, and kind of playing that like, okay, when are you going to shield drop against Ike aerials? That game. And then in addition to that game, you also have the like, oh, jump onto platform and grab, jump onto platform, like check the shield, etc. But that's just quick draw getting Ike to that position. That's still better than the alternative of staying on the ground trying to like intercept quick draw on a guess. Yeah, and in this case, you get your shield up aerial on point, and you secure the stock there. I like the coverage there. The choice to cover the DI towards the staying at ledge.
Yeah, that's something I've been trying to practice, is the concept of timing a down tilt so that it'll hit them if they tech in place or mistech, and then having enough time with the IISA frames to chase if they tech away.
Yeah.
It's really hard, but it's something I'm trying to practice because like Zach will do it all the time. And he's really good at it.
It's very like you're out of optionsy, kind of like they don't have a lot they can do.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, here's a really good example of that exact thing that Tia did to you. I was talking about with like, oh, like here you could just F smash again and just take your 20% and cash out, but
Yeah.
you go for the extension because the extension's a lot more valuable. Is the decision you make, and I think it's a good one. Because here, like, if you were against if you were against Roy, you could probably F smash and then just like trade with a weak fair or something. But this character is a little harder to edgeguard at super low percent, and your character's not the like run off stage nair and like kind of like lock down any recovery kinds of options. So even though it doesn't really work out, I still think it's very much a good call.
Yeah, it's definitely how I structure my gameplay, where I know that in like pressure situations, 99% of people are going to be holding in when they get popped up by Roy. And so what I do is I just have gotten my combo game to the point where, like, if they DI in, I like basically know exactly how to flowchart my punish to do like the most damage possible.
Yeah, like right here.
Yeah, like I knew that if they held in on the forward air, that back air works. And so anyone that knows me well enough knows that holding in is also death, and so that's how I get people to hold away.
For F
and so
smash,
when I get someone with a like a dash attack by ledge and they're at like 40, and like, oh, if he's in a down tilt here again, I gotta hold off stage, so I'm gonna comboed, and then I forward smash.
Right.
That's how the mix up works. But I was talking to I was talking to Flescore a couple days ago, and I basically said like, you don't get those kinds of kills unless you make them afraid to hold in.
Right.
So you have to prove that if they hold in, they will die, so they have to do something different.
Yeah, get me back on the pencil. There was a very interesting point that Derpinator made in a Mewtwo matchup discussion the other day, where basically like, to kind of like, to oversimplify, like, hover stuff is really broken and good, but if all you do is hover stuff, they can just do anti-hover stuff. So you've got to do grounded stuff, even if it's not always better. And then that way they try to get around the grounded stuff, and hover stuff gets better. And it's that same kind of thing. It's a lot easy. It's also very easy to see with like survival DI versus combo DI, because you have that gun, you can just send it on that forward smash. And you also have a lot of moves that are like, hey, you probably want to DI this away at 20 because it's a good move if you don't. And it's kind of a good move if you do, but like it's better than nothing. So that's a really good like application of that same kind of like conditioning is what it is basically.
Yeah.
Because you know that your opponent knows the risk of the common option, but you're trying to use that risk against them. Okay, so there's something you do here that, one, you jump out again, but that might have just been an SDI thing.
Yeah, happens a lot.
So here, you get this down tilt, you do the thing where you try to hit them either, you kind of like meet in the middle of hitting them before they tech and hitting them after they tech, and you just hit them when they're invincible.
Yeah.
It's a really common thing with like every single character whenever someone attacks onto a plat. I would suggest pick one. It's hard to recommend picking assuming they'll tech, because even just off of that throw, Tia wiggled out of tumble and then actually tried to tech and flickered shield, and that's where this down tilt hit. But
yeah, so I don't like hitting them after they tech unless they're at like really high percent, because up air can be like ASDI'd and CC'd for very long, but I don't get a real combo extension unless I hit them with like a descending up air. Like I have to like up air them and like already be falling so that I can jump back up and hit them again while they're still in hit stun.
it's worth noting, especially if you're going for the option of like after they tech with the invuln, regardless of where in the plat, you do have more options than up air. So let's say a low percent, right? You have dare, you have landing on plat down tilt, landing on plat grab if you're worried about CC, or it's like a very heavy character, or it's a spacey or something, right? And you get a lot of up throw. Or you want to forward throw like wave drop, or running drop to the plat fair to get some momentum into forwards. You can set up a lot of situations with things that aren't necessarily up air.
Yeah, I think the up air was definitely a little autopilot-y. It was I got my down tilt. Okay, now time to up air.
Yeah, and
I could have been a little more creative here.
And that's okay. I'm trying to show you that you do have tools because you have more time. Up air is probably the only significant move you have to hit them before they hit this plat.
Can you play the clip a little bit?
Oh yeah,
rewind a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
I can see again.
Yeah, so off of this really low percent down tilt, and similar situations to it, you probably only really have time for you don't have time to land here unless you're punishing the tech.
Okay.
In which case, all those slower options open up for you, right? Down tilt, your huge combo starter.
That'll happen very fast.
Yeah, it does happen very quickly, but it is a position that, especially with your down tilt, it can come up a little more frequently than you would assume.
Yeah.
And it's another opportunity for you to use that same DI mix-up you were talking about, right? So if you let's assume 50, 60, you get them on this plat with maybe weak tipper down tilt or something, some kind of, they end up on the plat. If you tech chase them from this plat, now they have to guess left right pretty much, because you're going to be able to hit one of those with whatever you want very easily. So they have left right, I sure hope I get out of this. Let me actually do LR. The less I type, or the less I draw letters, the better. So they have to make a left-right decision where you maybe not react to it fully, but even if you're facing the wrong way from your down tilt, you can at least get the F smash. And then they have to have the same combo DI versus survival DI mix up. Let me just do DI mix up. Where they have to go, okay, let me DI away down tilt, and suddenly they're Ike way over here. That I can't go further than that. Versus, especially before sweet spot up air will tumble, that puts them in an awkward position. But the sweet spot up air doesn't really. It puts them in this weird position where they kind of have to either land or jump. But that's a lot more work to lead to those same DI mix-ups that are so rewarding. Does that kind of make sense?
Okay. I think so.
Get out of here. I'm not trying to say you should never go for that up air.
Yeah.
I just think that you have more options if you. I don't want to say you have more diversity of options if you try to tech chase here.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about why I up aired there, and it's because I wanted to catch them on the platform. But if I think about it a little bit more, up air has situations where it doesn't work, like with what just happened. And I can think about options that do the same kind of thing, but with either greater reward or greater consistency.
Right. And with plat specifically, you have that, Zach does it all the time. Even if he's not tech chasing, even if you realize he's a little late, they tech and play shielded, he'll just flip and send forward smash, fall off, then reset back to neutral, but be more prepared than his opponent, act faster.
Yeah, I actually did that a lot last night at the weekly, where I would tech chase someone onto a platform, and I would forward smash, and then if they shielded the forward smash, I would know that I'm going to get pushed off, and I would continue the platform pressure because I'm fully actionable.
Hell yeah.
It's so cool looking. What I want to try labbing out is, say on the PS2 plat, I do that, forward smash, fall off, and then I do, wave bounce, side B. Use my momentum going right, and then shift it going left with a side B on their shield.
Hell yeah, that opens up so many pressure options too. Like,
It really does. It's so funny.
you have your momentum getting pushed off. You can use with B moves. You can just fast fall, start running at them. Especially if they're playing a floatier character, they're not ready to fast fall most likely. So this opens up, like, the up air. Let me get it back on screen. The up air here to catch them before they land is not bad, especially once it starts into the tumble. It can be very rewarding. But if that's all you do, then you're missing out on a lot of like opportunities to put yourself in very advantageous situations where the opponent, has to kind of put up with Roy.
Yeah. I love when my opponent has to put up with Roy.
Yeah, they got to put up with Roy, sweet spot F smash into how often do you get to sweet spot F smash and then still pressure their shield?
Oh my god, it's so sick.
And then that shield's going down, and that can also lead you to another avenue of like, hey, it's shield pressure by the sense that you can't block another F smash, so you gotta move, right?
Yeah.
And it can give you so much momentum because they have to be on the back foot after all this pressure. So then you can... I was talking about this in another lesson. Like, once you've gotten their shield low, for the most part, they either have to commit to like, kind of like defensive move, giving up as much stage as they need to like get their shield back, or aggressing towards you so they don't have to shield.
Yeah, and the vast majority of players that know what they're doing will default towards when their shield is low, they'll go aggressive.
Right, because it is safer in a sense.
Yeah.
Because if you were aggressing, you weren't going to shield anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that, that means that let's say you get their shield really low, you kind of like have a minor reset to neutral, like in this instance. You can now be like ready to intercept them. Like if you're expecting, let's say, a spacey shuffle naring you, upwards angle F tilt is catching downwards DI, and that's a really good opportunity. Or even just like pivoting, or pivot grabbing, or like getting ready to any number of ways to intercept an approach that you know is coming. Like even just F smash, like another F smash, just sending it like to intercept them out of the air. You can... Being able to kind of like push people into doing certain things will give you a lot more freedom with how you're punishing those things, because you don't have to run the process of like, oh, let me figure out what Ike is going to do in neutral near the ledge. You can be like, oh, well, if they back up, this F smash doesn't matter, and if they run at it, F smash is great. Let me just do that. Mm-hmm. And then that gives you more focus to think about your option that you have decided on, or to time it better. Okay, yeah, I've definitely... Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a lot to say that basically you can get into more varied situations, which are scarier in pressure. Like that down air doesn't work with the up air.
Yeah. I made a note when I was going over this set myself. After I made a note in the game 1 section, I was like, I might be able to get more mileage off of Dacus, like catching Ike in the corner. And then in game 2 notes, I made a note that says, well, I Dacused and I killed them, LOL. Yeah, I'm very happy with that combo that I did.
Yeah, this sequence, even leading into the Dacus, you do a really good job making sure that she can't, like, start side B.
Yeah. That's the whole game plan.
Yep. You interrupt it once, it whiffs.
From the knot, yep.
Yep, then you Dacus. Yep.
Now, Ike has the mix-up of instead of retreating with side B, they instead just, like, put out a hitbox standing. But Tia, for some reason, just, like, wasn't doing that. Probably just, like, nerves or whatever. But since I knew that they were just, going to keep running away and trying to charge quick draw, I can just chase them.
Yeah. You got the read that she is not going to be kind of pushing it.
This combo is so fucking... I'm so good at this game.
That was a rad extension.
I'm so nuts.
See, and like this kind of situation came up specifically because you went on the plot to tech chase.
Yes.
In this case, it's because you couldn't like threaten before they landed, but it is still... Especially because Roy on Platts, I'm sure you don't need me to tell you how good Roy on Platts is.
I love this jab. Oh my god.
I was just about to say.
Can I gush about that jab real quick?
One more time for the fans.
I saw the ring was gone
Jab.
after the up air, and then I reacted to the up air getting the weak hit instead of the strong hit, and I knew they weren't going anywhere. So if I jab, they have no jump. There's no way she's gonna be ready to wiggle out a tumble in time. So I just get a free tech chase situation that will lead into a kill if I read it right. I read tech in place, and I got the NDI because I'm based my whole game plan around catching NDI, and I just killed them for DIing it.
Yep.
That was just like literally if I could show someone a clip of my playstyle and how I love playing Roy, it would just be that combo.
Hell yeah.
I fucking love this character.
How did
so that was very funny.
Y'all both got a Roy zoned.
Yeah.
That's the exact same thing that happened last time.
The exact same thing.
Literally the same choice of moves, and sorry, that Roy zone's whack.
It's very funny. Oh yeah, recognize I can't get there in time to stop them. Just go to a platform, dash dance. I reacted to them moving, and then I shield after that, which kind of fucked me up because later on in the set, what she does is she lets quick draw go and then wave dashes back and does it again, and it like baits me to move.
Yep. It's so hard to react to quick draw, even if it's just a low committal defensive option, because they don't have to. Like the Ike player has basically no commitment outside of like a very short.
They have no what's the word, obligation to do anything with it.
They have no responsibility. All these Ike players pressing the B button in neutral.
Yeah, they're literally just high school kids. It's like, oh, you just get to press B, you know. You don't have to pay your bills. You don't have to go to work.
I'm just gonna go play some Minecraft later.
You're sitting on your computer side being all day. That's how I feel, man.
Yeah, I agree with the Roy player saying that the Ike players are side being too much.
Okay, listen here, buddy. Listen here. My side B has counterplay.
You've shown the counterplay like okay, you win the game, right? You don't lose the game after missing the spike.
It's closer than I wanted to be, but I do win. It was very sad. I definitely should have gotten that. Oh my god.
She must have been reading a spottage. That was kind of a weird forward smash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? She's kind of this jump back side B is kind of an answer to you approaching so much to try to keep smother her before she can like start the side B. And then you have to play the guessing game of, oh, is this attack or is this grab? And those both have good reward. And you just guess wrong. At that point, it's just, you're in the situation, you got to be put up with that after whiffing the down tilt.
Yeah. If I had more time to analyze the situation, I probably would have read grab, but I thought that it was just going to be like a quick draw attack to get me off of her. But I was at 28. There wasn't really a whole lot you can do with just raw quick draw attack.
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, grab was more reward. I should have been ready for that.
It is a very, especially a quick draw, it's a very fast-paced move by nature.
That's the situation right there.
Yep. She gets you to flinch. This entire last stock is full of so many heartbreak situations.
Yeah, I missed the one down air, which I never miss, by the way. I never miss those.
I don't know. We have video proof.
No, I like literally, I'm so good at those. But like I missed one and then just everything devolved. I talked about this exact situation at the end of game 2 with a bunch of people. And I was just like, yeah, I missed one confirm, and then like out of nowhere we're both at like 200% with like fucking 30 seconds in the game. I looked back and I was like, oh, we're both at like 70. Tense. I was like, oh god, one hit and I'm dead. And I was like, wait, I'm at like 50%.
You're
like,
Roy though. Who knows?
I was freaking out so much. There's no way to understate how much I was like flipping the fuck out.
So that's not an uncommon thing. Usually when, I don't say usually, but frequently especially in 2D fighters where there are like input motions for things, frequently if somebody messes an input up, especially if it's for something simple, they kind of like are more aware of it for a little bit, and their execution just a little teeny sloppier. Mm-hmm. It's like when you I'm sure you tie your shoes in the morning, but if I ask you to tell me how to tie your shoes, it takes you a second.
Yeah.
Because that's not how you tie your shoes. You don't go, how am I tying my shoes this morning? You just tie your shoes.
You don't think about the process. It's just so thoughtless.
Yeah. So here, That was really good SDI and DI. So now you, as your reward for Ike Jab being really bad and doing the counterplay to it, you now get your combo. I just wanted to highlight that.
That was good DI. Going to the ledge.
Yeah, she's finally using Invincible Quick Draw Ledge Dash, and she kind of like snuck one on you right here.
Yeah. I was usually doing really well about dealing with the Invincible Quick Draw mix-ups, but that was just a good one on her part.
I think that's one of the first ones this set that she also did, like, the ended grounded.
Yeah. That's why I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different timing. Especially if she's a little rusty or hasn't played in a hot minute. Mm-hmm. That's what rusty means. I'm a moron. Mm-hmm. Yep. See, I like the option coverage there.
Yeah, covers like 3 out of 4, but they just picked the one.
Yeah, it's also this is also there's a possibility of like this being like the tech into slide off.
I don't know if slide off would have happened there.
I don't know for certain either, but like especially during a set, like I see why you chose this option.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. If she missed the tech, that would have actually been a slide off. Probably like 90% chance.
I like that your DAC is between stocks.
It's like I have things, like I go through phases. Like sometimes I'll have like a specific tag that I really like wearing, or like what I used to do before is I would charge down smash in between stocks.
Oh no! What are you two doing?
Listen, I don't know what she did, and then I don't know what happened to me. I had my double jump.
She just missed double jump. She missed ledge because trying to avoid F smash, and then you just decide not to recover.
Again, if you watch like any of my other sets, I never miss those reverse up B recoveries. Like never.
Atari.
I'm just freaking the fuck out.
That's fine. I'm giving you a hard time for fun, not to like actually give you crap about it.
It's just like really funny how like nervous I am. Because like I really wanted to win this set.
I really like that option. You did CC run up grab. Mm-hmm. I think that's a very underutilized option, especially for characters that have very like. Let's be honest, Roy down tilt lets you be really lazy with your CC options.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
And that's fine. That just means down tilt's good. But I like that you're also willing to, especially because she DI'd the throw not super great a few times, so you're willing to kind of give up the easier option for the option that is a little less, I don't want to say less guaranteed, but a little harder, but a lot more varied. Because now there's a mix-up as opposed to like, oh, if I get hit by CC down tilt, I know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Oh!
Yeah.
Oh my god. Let's go Tia.
I don't know.
Sorry, Atari. Let's go Tia.
I don't know why the fuck she forward smashed there.
She tried it earlier. Or not earlier, but earlier in the set. Mm-hmm. And then you rolled through and punished. Not then, but you rolled through and punished.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
But that's something that Arsenal has been trying to hammer into my skull for the longest time. CC grab.
Yeah, it's very much a Fox thing to do too, because like CC Shine's great, but it's Shine sized.
Yeah.
Okay, that was game 3. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So I think overall, you do with what you're currently using, you do a really good job implementing the like survival/combo DI mix-up. But try to find a few more situations, like with that tech chase in the plat. Or, like you did it with the jab, right? That jab forces a tech chase, which then gives you a bigger reward.
Yeah.
Because on that, like that really sick up air, like off of the throw into up air, like if you get a forward air or something, she has even if she, there's a world where she doesn't, but there's also a lot of worlds where she does DI to ledge. And like, oh, that's kind of the end of that. That was cool, but, you know. Mm-hmm. But because you use jab, specifically also very creative use of jab to get that tech chase, that gave you the time to, you know, to run up, down tilt, and get that bigger punish. So now you have the Giphy.
I do have the Giphy. That is something I have now.
Right. If you tech chase on plats, then you get the Giphy. That's how you get in the top 50 melee combo video. You just tech chase spaces on plats.
Hell yeah.
All right, so this was game 1 of the Darkgun set. Yes. Okay. I'm just making sure.
So let me write this down.
Go for the Giphy
Uh,
every time. No.
go for yeah. Only do cool things.
Don't mess
Uh,
up.
don't make
Don't miss your reverse up B, and then come crying to Jasper.
I was playing. Justin was playing his wolf against me because he wanted to practice his wolf, and I remember saying like I don't remember like I don't know how like Zach does it so well, and he's like, or I don't know how Zach beats you so easily. He's just like you just don't make mistakes, play perfectly, and I'm like got it.
That is what a lot of the more punished characters come down to. Like when Lunchables takes a risk, he very intentionally stays away from the risks that will get him killed. Like he almost always will do even if when he takes risk, he doesn't do something that will get him shield grabbed by Mewtwo at ledge. Like
Yeah.
he might be like, oh, okay, I'll get ferret out of shield if I'm wrong, but that's fine. I'm at 0. I can CC tech away or like just CC it or whatever. I don't die. I don't get launched. I don't die.
I like that. Take risks that don't kill you if you're wrong.
Yeah, it's not possible to always only take those risks, but especially as a more frail character with no easy way to get down. Like, you're going to get comboed hard, you're going to get knocked off stage, and your up B is decent at, like, mixing up timing and beating out, like, imprecise edge guards, but you are still Roy off stage. So, in the same kind of way that, like, let's say Fox Puff in Melee, right? The Fox will do a lot of things that could be risky. Getting shield grabbed is the one thing that Fox players are afraid of out of shield. Like, if they get, like, buried out of shield, it's like, okay, who cares? I'm at 20. If they get up thrown out of shield, they die. They simply die.
So what was the other thing? Like, try to find combos that...
Try to find routes and kind of like moments that will let you extend situations to where eventually they can kill. So like with your combo on the plat, right? You did the throw, and that was a DI mix-up. That was, fall off up air. And after the fall off up air, you were able to, shark, get the jump. You saw that you got the jump, so then jab knocked down.
Mm-hmm.
And then because jab knocked down, you get a tech chase. You're basically buying yourself time. So like, if you only go for stuff that's true, you're not gonna have the best combo enders that you can get, because you're limiting yourself to what is, oh, I can hit them before they tech. Or, okay, if I fair them here, they can't do anything about it. And it's like, that's true, but a lot of the times, the threat, like you were saying, kind of cashing in on the threat of combo DI, you have to take those risks of, they might be able to jump out or air dodge or something I'm not expecting and get out of this, or make it not as good as the guaranteed option. But I can apply that pressure to them for longer. They're in this disadvantaged state of being hit for longer. And if I can make them make more decisions, those are more points of failure for me, but also more points of success for me. Where if I'm right on this tech chase after jab, I might get the stock. If I'm wrong, depending on what I use to tech chase, that's fine. I just miss. Again, I'm not gonna miss. I'm not gonna use a move in such a way that if I miss, I die or I get shield grabbed. Right?
Yeah.
So when you can kind of link those situations together, like that combo we're talking about, then you can really start making even minor punishes hurt. Like you killed Ike off of a grab at like 40 some odd % on a platform. You killed Ike off the top, not like an edge guard, like fully 120 some odd %.
Yeah, like a combo.
Yeah.
Like killed them with a combo.
So now, I guarantee you, it was in her head where, you're on the platform, you're shielding, she's got quick draw down here. She's thinking twice about going up to the platform.
Mm-hmm.
Whether like consciously or just hesitating, like not consciously. Subconscious, that's the word.
Yeah.
Because, hey, last time I went to this part of the stage, a bad thing happened. Our brains are really good at pattern recognition, and they prioritize avoiding negative things super hard because that's like a survival thing. Who cares if this berry makes you happy if a berry that looks identical to it killed my friend?
Yeah.
Like, if it made me sick and I missed out on food for 2 days. So, once you can, and as you notice this too, as you are consciously putting people in these situations, you'll be able to notice, oh yeah, last time I got a shield guard with a plat, I got the stock. Tia's probably aware of that and won't go to a place where she can get shield grabbed. That can inform what option she's going to pick, and by extension, that can inform you of what option she's going to pick.
Mm-hmm.
Does that kind of all make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
It seems like a traditional, like, fighting game conditioning stuff.
Mm-hmm. With Smash, kind of like how freeform it is, it's a little harder to kind of like realize how interconnected everything is. Versus in traditional 2D fighters, like, okay, on the knockdown, when I jump here, if you try to anti-air me, or that's even a wacky situation. On this knockdown, when you wake up, I could meaty you and you have to block, or I could throw you, beating your block. I can't kill you off a throw, so you're probably going to take the throw.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to block. How do I beat that? And it's a lot more like numbers based. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. So it's easier to see the situation of like, oh, you're literally cornered. There's a literal wall here that you can't control your spacing anymore. And when I'm knocked down, I can dash forward and still meaty you with this move perfectly, and it's reversal. Like, you can get deeper into it because it's numbers based. Speaking of numbers, the magic numbers, Darkgun.
The what?
The magic series.
Oh, yeah.
The magic series of prime numbers. I'm working on my transitions, Atari. All right. I love that chase down.
Darkgun loves to tech away in those situations.
Yep.
And I kill him for it a lot.
Yep. That's a good thing to be aware of. Because, like, in that same cycle, right, of like, oh, Darkgun techs away a lot. That means that he values space over stage.
Yeah, he values what is it?
Safety?
Well, safety would be taking in.
Kind of both, because you're more likely to get hit if you tech in. It's like higher risk, higher reward. Yeah. You get hit harder if you tech in, but you're further from stage.
Yeah, I guess if you tech away, you're less likely to get chased, because the safer option as the attacker is to read, tech in, and then pressure them in the corner if they tech away.
Right.
And getting tech away requires a read.
Yeah. Even with fast characters like Roy, you have to decide to run up.
Yeah. Also, Roy isn't that fast.
I mean, he's decently... Okay, I play a floaty. Everyone's faster than Mewtwo.
Faster than Mewtwo, but...
Mewtwo's dash attack is slower than his run. Give me something. At least Peach's is faster than her run. Anyway.
It's like Bowser's... Or it's like Ganon's talking about, like, oh yeah, a fast character like Bowser can do...
Okay, fine. We're on copium, I'll admit it.
All on copium.
But Ganon has a decent dash attack. Don't at me.
Ganon's dash attack is really good.
Okay.
Either way, regardless.
Seeing, Nathan techs away a lot. This means this informs me that, as a maybe general rule that he might break later, he prefers having space from an attacker than to having stage, even if he's closer to an attacker. So this might inform, something else. And you can kind of like piggyback off of these observations. Mm-hmm. And then let's say he's mixing it up. He dies here. He goes, oh, okay, I'm not going to tech away. I'm going to tech in. That might, it depends at this point, this depends on the person very heavily. That might mean that they kind of like flip their entire idea about this, or they only change the one habit, but it is still something to like be aware of, because by the third habit, there will be a pattern either way. Right?
Yes.
So, like, if next time Darkgun techs in and he values stage control over space, there might be some equivalent, like, third flip for this third habit. And this is very much just kind of like suggestions, because once you get this deep, you're really just educated guessing at best.
Mm-hmm.
But it gives you an expectation to look for, which is the important thing. Okay, I know, phone. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the same thing with combo routes, right? Like, if you next time if you chase him down to the corner, he might realize at the last second, oh, I'm going to get F smash and DI in, which then gives you different opportunities than him DIing out.
Yeah, I read it again and he checked in.
Yep.
And now I see that.
Oh no, Darkgun, no.
He's fine. I really don't know why I did that neutral B. I think I was reading like forward from ledge, but I think at the spacing I was at, it would hit me anyway.
Yeah, Lucario Fair is rather disjointed.
Yeah, I don't know what I was on. Also, that was the counter. That was supposed to be a side B.
Hey, if it works, it works. If it works, that was on purpose. If it didn't work, oops.
True.
If it didn't work, my controller is cold.
My controller is cold.
Oh, what is he doing? Whoa, what is happening? So this is a situation, a good example of like, not this down smash because you push from the ledge, but this one. I know it was supposed to be a punish, and it was only very close that it wasn't, but this is the kind of thing that like, maybe not against Lucario, but against like other characters that have better up throws for, well, fast faller. This is the kind of risk that like, you can get shield grabbed and you can just die.
Mm-hmm.
This specific one is rough though, because down smash is your best way to kill him when he's behind you like that and you spot dodge. But it's just a decision. Kind of be aware of the risk, I think, is the best advice.
Mm-hmm.
Because like there's never, aside from explicitly supposed to be awful moves, like maybe like Peach aerial down B, where it's like there's just not potential there, at least right now.
Yeah.
Almost every move has a time and a place, even if that is a very risky move. So, like, there's a time and a place for a down smash if you make the decision to down smash. Like, if you're expecting 2 grabs in a row, or if you're expecting grab into not shield, or not defense, then this is, there's time and a place for this. Like, you know how much I love forward smash on Mewtwo.
Mm-hmm.
I frankly really forced it too much. But I was making a decision that, like, at least most of the time, I definitely did too many. But especially at low percent, what is this other character going to? How can they hurt me if I miss the forward smash? And the answer, because it's Mewtwo, because they're far away, is usually not much. So even though it is a very big opening, the actual risk is more pressure than punish.
Yeah.
Which then has different connotations. I know, phone. I know. I like this idea of the little 5-minute timer to like remind me to shut the hell up.
Yeah. It didn't kill him because it was downward angled, I think.
Oh, is it one of those?
Yeah, it is. Up does more knockback but less percent. Down does more percent but less knockback. I don't want to talk about it.
I do. No.
So here's what happened, right?
Yeah? What happened?
I tried to side B.
Yeah.
I tried to do side and then second hit up. My first side B didn't come out, so when I tried to do second hit up, it came out as an up B. And then he footstooled me really high up, and so I could have up B'd to ledge. The problem is, as soon as I up B'd and noticed I was off stage, I took my hands off my controller and like threw my hands up in the air like, god damn it. And then I tried to put them back as soon as I realized I was footstooled, but I was too late.
Wait, is this the percent?
He's dead.
Oh my god.
It's PS2.
God, you're up there kills at 213. Wow. Please compensate. Mewtwo's up there.
Hey, Mewtwo player.
Hey, I don't play Mewtwo.
Yeah.
I don't play this game.
I don't play this game anymore.
Yeah, I actually retired when I said I retired.
True.
I'm the 1% of Smash players.
I have no idea how you did it.
Well, I stopped having fun playing the game in tournaments is how I did it.
That's understandable.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that's another kind of like small version of that. Like, those dares gave you the opportunity for an extension, even though they gave him extra. That's kind of the trade-off, right? They gave Darkgun extra break points to like tech or maybe some situations mash out or do something you're not expecting and mess up your offense. But oh, I see.
Yeah, the stream cuts out right there.
Did you win this game?
No, I lost.
Gotcha. Okay. So this is your counter pick. I dig it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start moving through these a little faster. I know we can only go so fast when we're watching them, but
Yeah.
I say that like you're the one talking all the time too.
All right, let's try to speed this up, Atari.
Yeah, come on, Atari. Come on. Win and/or lose faster. Yeah, that's.
I used the full hop to cover high, and then he went low, and I just reacted and drifted back to stage.
Full hop to cover high. Yeah, I like that a lot. I think be a little more careful. Like the down B is not mega invincible, but this is the kind of like worst case scenario because again, this is a risk you take where if you're wrong, you get grabbed, which are equivalently biggest punish the opponent has on you at 70%.
Yeah.
So in this case, it was just the down throw to ledge, and you were fine. But like that kind of thing is how like that kind of thing is the reason that like okay, let's go Darkgun. That's the way that like not the clip start, but that's a lot of momentum when you miss something and then get hit for it in a big way. What?
He was doing a bunch of B reverse or sphere stuff. I don't know.
He's pressing the B button, wiggling the stick.
The B button a lot. He ran into it. I'm just like in a lot of these like go back to neutral situations. I'm just sitting at like double team range.
Yeah.
Because I know he loves to double team.
Double team. It's a pretty decent move, but okay. That wasn't the aura. That just entered. It's not involved until frame 13. That's kind of wild. Okay.
I don't really know what to do in that platform situation.
So for this one, I kind of like your option because you're so high up that you can't like threaten. Like you could.
I maybe could have like short hop down aired.
Let me back it up again. Maybe like short hop dare or like down tilt. But then you kind of have the same problem of like, then what? You just get the big hit.
I would have Roy zoned.
Oh yeah, he's like on top of you, slightly to the left.
It would have hit because there is a body hitbox, but he could have like SDI'd like either direction. And so I really like I wanted to force smash, but I didn't really know which way to do it. And so I like took a guess and I like got right.
You can also down smash there if you just want the damage. It's better than doing.
True.
Usually better than doing nothing. There might be a case for like expecting the down air, but then there's a layer of like, oh, he can just cancel out of that because he's Lucario.
All right, hear me out. Up air onto the platform, dash left, instant brawl pivot grab, like reverse brawl pivot grab.
Yeah, that would. Let me back up a little bit, and then we'll step back forward.
Right here, dash left, brawl pivot grab.
Yeah, and then you get the DI mix that he's not expecting because that's a really creative place to grab.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wait, we saw that side B. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to like that's the idea of like think about those situations where I can like use more creative decision making to get higher reward.
Right.
I got a lot of percent, but it went back to neutral.
Yeah, and I think it's perfectly, especially in that wacky of a situation. It's not usually unless you're like trying to make a huge comeback where you need the big reads. It's not like explicitly wrong to go for like the safer guaranteed stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
But when you do that, you lose some of the threat of getting hit in neutral. Like, if I'm playing against you and you do that crazy platform combo, I'm worrying about getting grabbed. I'm worrying about like if I go to the platform, then what'll happen, right? Mm-hmm. Versus like if you just get like a throw mix up into like respectable 45%, but like I mean I'm living. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's not going to stick out of my head. I'm not going to be afraid of it.
This was really sick.
That was a rad combo.
He like barely mistimes the drift to ledge.
How did that F smash whiff? Holy moly!
I'm actually surprised myself.
Was that a moonwalk Darkgun?
Yes.
This was the Darkgun stock.
It was. Yup.
Oh my lord.
Darkgun likes his funny moves.
Funny moves are a funny time.
And then that's exactly what I was talking about with making them afraid to hold in.
Yep. He doesn't like full DI out, but it's enough to get the kill, and it's enough to make him not want to do it next time.
Yes.
Because he that hit at like high 60s or low 70s, and he died for it.
Yes. That was definitely not optimal DI. I just like had a feeling in my soul. It's like he's probably... what I was thinking in my head, actually, was if he DIs this badly, like the down tilt badly, I don't get that much reward anyway. So I'll just go for what I think he's probably gonna do anyway, which is away to take the least damage.
Yep. Okay, he gets that confirmed, even with double team. Holy moly.
Mm-hmm.
God, that reminds me of, I always get like a little, not even angry, but just like exasperated whenever I see a Falco whiff shine grab and then just double jump, like immediately jumping to true combo. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Spaceys. Okay. So this thing, I've seen this so much.
I know that I'm actionable as soon as that thing happens. I was just like buffering spot dodge for I don't know why. I wasn't ready for it.
So long as you know.
Yeah. I do know in my head, but like I wasn't ready for it to happen.
Yeah, it takes a little that hurts. It takes a little bit to get used to it's a very wacky situation that doesn't like look intuitive.
Yeah, you're right. I definitely could have down smashed instantly. It would have looked really funny.
Yeah, it's like it almost looks like you CC'd the hit.
Yeah. CC the air grab.
Yeah. Man, I wish Wario's bite could be CC'd.
Oh my god, right?
Okay, that is another reason to kind of like have more tricks in the bag, especially because for Lucario, his down air is really good at contesting your up air strings.
Mm-hmm.
There's also not a huge threat. Like the only way you can threaten the DI on that is by F smash, and he's usually, especially if he's using C stick, that's not going to be like a lot. He's only going to be DIing down for a few frames.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's cashing out the stock. That makes sense. I like the nairs there. Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was a wild there. But you made that harder than you needed to.
Did I?
You can just F smash him here.
True.
He's in so much lag when he lands.
Yeah, I don't know why I just like... I think I expected him to go to ledge.
The only way he can really go to ledge here if he just goes straight up and falls to it.
Yeah, and Tipper down tilt would have hit him there.
Actually, no, he was turned to the left. He was turned to the left because he really goofed getting off stage here.
Wait, so what happened here?
He just missed the ledge.
Oh.
So because he was turned to the left, he had to go on stage or try some really wacky angle to end up at the ledge with like some wacky curve.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know why I didn't think like what else could I have done there? Like there's literally nothing else that kills.
Yeah, down tilt at 130 is my only kill move.
140 is the only option.
I have no other options. I know. Okay, I like when he's on these platforms. You're just committing to like the space control.
Yeah.
Like
and
no.
we talked about that, and he was like, he said, I was really hoping you would go up there and challenge me. I'm like, no, I'm just sitting here in the center stage. Like you have to come to me. The platform's gonna come over here eventually, and then when it does, you're gonna be above Roy on a platform. Have fun.
Nice confirm. Yeah, this entire stock, you really like. You're always center stage unless you're getting actively hit, and you're mitigating it very well. So like if we skip through, you're in the middle or you're both in the middle, and then in that situation because you were at ledge, trying to punish tech away gives you center stage, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because you have the player habit on him too. And then more of the same, and because of that, you catch the burst option, get the stock.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did you want to watch this last game, or do you want to start the Yonos?
It's up to you. I think it's a little bit more of the same.
Let's go ahead and go to the Yono set then.
Okay.
Just because we're trying to cover 3 sets. And especially if it's a little bit more of the same. There we go. So it was right after... Yeah, right after this. Okay. Okay, sick. So, Knuckles is a little funky character.
Mm-hmm.
He controls space very differently than a lot of characters. But it is similar to a lot of fast fallers in that, like, it is going to be based on movement rather than, like, super, super far-reaching hitboxes. So, like, between glide and the run speed and then the fall speed, that's how he controls the movement and, like, is going to nab those hits on you. Versus He did the Falcon thing. He did the Falcon instant double jump. Yono.
What happened?
He instant double jumps this. You F smash him. It's like like. See?
Oh, what the hell?
Falcon players do that all the time. I don't like. There's a minor reason, especially for melee Falcons, because like, oh, it puts you at a different height. But this is so bad. This is it's so damaging if you get hit by the move.
Yeah, I honestly like should have recognized this and then just ran out and fared him. I don't know why I think I didn't see the jump was gone. Maybe.
Let me see if I can get this. Specifically for Knuckles too, he'll ball up in his double jump, which will make it a little easier.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't fully cognizant.
It's very fast, and it was kind of a like not out of nowhere, but it was a situation where you were kind of, it was a reversal almost.
Yeah, I definitely could have ran off and hit him there.
Yeah,
should have been more aware.
Yep. You're playing really well around that glide and air range.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I think Roy is very good at dealing with those, but like Knuckles can approach at a range or at an angle that Roy's bad at covering, but Roy is like good at getting left and right. Like in terms of burst movement, you can get left and right pretty quickly, so Knuckles can't you can't overshoot and undershoot at the same time. So
yeah,
I think Roy is good at stuffing most glide approaches, unless you just guess completely wrong.
Yeah, like if you down tilt and they glide near at like the perfect timing, then you kind of just get hit. But that's such specific timing that if it's happening consistently, it's a you thing where your timing is super consistent and neutral. And if it's happening only once or twice, it's like it just kind of happens sometimes. Okay.
Knuckles double jump goes so high.
It does go very high, yeah. I didn't notice that. Good lord, that goes high.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna catch the double jump with the L smash, but he went really high up.
Yep,
and the fucking funny Knuckles thing where he springs and then just falls with forward air. Because it just goes further out in front of him than any other move and goes further down than his down air. That happened when I was playing Hamyojo when Knuckles first came out a lot. I would try to cover like that exact angle and just like I could not hit Knuckles out of that falling forward air. It was like so deceptively strong.
It's one of those moves you might have to like. It's happened twice now, where your F smash makes the shield grab with.
Yeah.
You might have to just like space around it as opposed to try to beat it.
Yeah.
Almost like Game & Watch key, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or honestly, like a lot of swords too. Like characters that don't have swords have to just deal with Roy Fair. It's about time, says the character with the tail sword. It's only a half sword though.
Knuckles jab being funny.
I mean, that's not just a Knuckles thing, but it is definitely an uncommon thing. And then just trade.
Yeah. Knuckles being funny.
Knuckles is hilarious. All right. Okay, so Metal Cavern. I kind of like this because it makes the double jump kind of awkward for Knuckles.
Yeah. I thought about it for a while, and like Metal Cavern just stuck out to me. I was playing Sethlon a long time ago, and I used to hate Metal Cavern before talking to Sethlon about it, and he like talked about how like being center stage as Roy on this stage means like you're so safe. They can only approach from like two angles, which is like directly horizontally from you or directly vertically. And so you don't really eat any like crazy approach mix-ups. You can just be your stone wall that is Roy in center stage holding down.
Yep. Especially at low percent. All right, so here, speaking of holding down, very good segue. You try to use a certain move here. You actually get hit out of the beginning of counter on this.
Yeah, I read the Nair. Roy's counter doesn't function as a move.
Okay, come on.
It happens.
You have better options here, or more consistent options that are decided by you and not the opponent.
Yeah, but Roy doesn't work.
Okay, Okay. Low tier Roy player. A skilled Roy can beat any Sonic the Hedgehog character. Just instead of trying to use counter, especially when it has that startup on it, it might be easier to just like try to space the forward air if you're that confident in like where Knuckles is going to be.
Yeah. If I forward air them, I probably just have to like hit them again, but it shouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah, the big thing in this matchup is going to be getting rid of glide, kind of like Ike side B or Charizard down B.
Yep.
Where it's like so long as they don't have the horizontal or they don't have the like vertical kind of like wiggle room, you're going to be okay for the most part. Like they have like relatively normal recoveries. Nice SDI. Can you make it here? Yes, nice. That's another example of getting hit in a way such that you have another chance, right?
Yeah.
So like this, it is kind of dependent on a mistake, but you're Roy at 120 off stage. Like you got to take what you can get.
Yeah.
So then because of this, you can make it to ledge, and then it doesn't end up working out, but you do get 12%, and you get the chance, which is huge. Like, how many times have you been playing a set, and then someone lives your F smash at the perfect percent, and it's like, okay, you have to work to stay like calm and like not panic.
You want to hear a funny story?
At the Axe Throwing Monthly?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you told me about that. You mentioned this, actually.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I was so pissed. Neville was there behind us, because obviously everyone was there. And he said that I looked the most tilted that he's ever seen me in a set.
Yeah, but you kept it together. But that is like a skill that needs to be. If you can survive to get a lot of those like one more hit situations, that'll be a skill that your opponents will need to use. Like more energy to not get like annoyed, or to not have it affect their play.
Yeah. So in that edge guard situation, I did everything right, but I tried to up B into the Knuckles like when I realized he was gonna nair. So obviously my combo DI is really bad. I'm trying to figure out which direction to hold.
For up air, usual
you can,
rule
like,
of thumb.
You can like do the Meta Knight thing, right? Where you like left right to you.
What do you mean?
Like depending on which direction he hits you with the up air, the combo DI becomes different.
I'm not confident. I don't know either way.
Okay.
Because Knuckles is a character I've never played against before, aside from like some friendlies. But like usual rule of thumb for these kind of like up air strings is you want to go off stage, but the threat of like back air or forward air, especially as Roy, makes that a little finicky. You don't want to give Knuckles the platform to land, re-jump, and then zoom up B. So it might be worth trying to go off stage ASAP before the fair or bear really like threaten you.
Yeah, I should have done that. And then I getting hit by this nair was fine because I still have my double jump. I can just like double jump up B. I have another mix up. The problem is I up B'd like right before he hit me. And if you initiate your up B with Roy, you lose your double jump.
Gotcha. So the reason you got hit by this is because you side B here very frequently.
Yeah.
And a lot of characters can't really deal like they have to commit a little harder than Knuckles. But Yono had the read that Tari he's just going to side B there because that's a little normally free distance, and then hit you here. And then that, like you're saying, the up B is unfortunate that you took your jump.
And yeah, I felt fine about it because I knew I would have my double jump. I just don't know why I up B'd. As soon as I got hit, I was like, oh wait, yeah, I'm dumb.
It might be a habit of like you're up B beating things for the most part.
Yeah, generally, that makes sense.
If that killed,
definitely not at that percent, but it's damn
it
close.
was a little closer.
It was close.
Okay, great. That's great. That is the exact kind of thing I was talking about with the platform tech chasing. And the fact that Metal Cavern is a little bit of a higher plat, kind of like forces you to do this, is to this landing tech chase. And then you had the right idea of like enforcing a mix-up either way. And even though he spot dodged, it is just a little... even though he spot dodged, you were relatively safe because it was a scary position. Do you just get...
Yeah, that was true.
Why do they add this character in?
I don't know. I really didn't think. I thought I was safe there, and then that happened. I was like, oh my god, really?
Like, I thought my grabs were... Well, okay. 2 of my throws are top tier. And then I have 2 more. That was wild that he didn't get to ledge there. But yeah, you cleaned it up. That's good. Yeah. See, like when you're getting a lot of mileage and a lot of threat, also more importantly, off of these platform tech chases. Because like when the risk is getting hit by the up air, especially at lower percent, that's a risk that most people are going to be cool with. Like, because they're not going to die for it. They're not going to... Did that aerial interrupt? Hold on.
Which thing?
Knuckles up air here. Is this aerial interrupt or is this a frame rate thing? Oh my god, no.
It interrupted.
And it gets the hitbox? Man, this character is so privileged. My up air just stops. I'm so salty. So salty this character is up air being like allowed to do that. Yeah.
That was really smart by him.
Yep, that's just going to kind of checkmate you in that situation. Okay.
I could have gone lower and then used the spring to stall for a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. There's, especially with characters with like meh recoveries, kind of like right. There's a mix between like just getting back to stage and ledge, like mixing up the timing and mixing up the like how linear it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good that you're aware of like the kind of situations that are like, oh, I could have done this to mix something up. You could have DI'd it left and teched it, and that would mix up the timing as well, give you a little extra height. So here, this is something very important that Knuckles, he's not unique, but this is something I hadn't thought about with Knuckles before. You down tilt twice in a row and you get hit for it because of glide and air.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something to kind of be on the lookout for.
I tried to CC grab, but his grab came out first.
Oh, on the nair?
Yeah.
I think it's just that you didn't move ASAP, which is fine.
Yeah.
Because it's a big ask to move frame 1 of action ability every single time.
Yeah.
Especially when you're CCing a move that you don't know when is hitting you.
Mm-hmm. I could have down tilted again, honestly.
Yeah, because it turned you around.
Yeah, that would have been funny. I mean, these roid players are just mashing down tilt.
Okay, nice. Another one. Okay, sweet spot. Still, you notice you got the ring that time. So you got a lot more damage out of that than the last time because you saw the ring.
I was covering glide, but he just wasn't using it.
Yeah, because it's one of those like if he gets hit out of glide, he could easily die. But if you hit him out of up B, he's more or less fine unless you like kill him.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
I probably roll or buffered spot dodge DI. Let's see.
Oh, he rolled. Yeah.
Yeah, probably buffered spot dodge, I would imagine. Because he's done that a few times already.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he's going to up air the extension there. Yep.
He's like not doing like... I noticed this like during the set. He doesn't do like broken, overtuned Knuckles things. He's like playing pretty honestly. Like the only B move he's using is like glide.
I mean,
like
he's grabbed you a lot.
I mean, yeah, but like Knuckles is like has very good like dash dancing, so like his throws are very strong too. But like he doesn't use dig at all. Like if I'm off stage, like he won't try to hit me with dig.
Yeah, because that's
he's using like down B as all as like a mix up.
It's the same kind of thing I think with dig at ledge as like Me Too down smash, where like yes, theoretically it does hit the opponent before they can get to ledge, and like they might be able to tech it, but it's hard. But if you can just nair where you're going to be, that's always going to work by comparison.
Mm-hmm.
That takes away your agency in the edge guard and feels significantly worse, in my experience.
Yeah. But have you seen how low dig hits below ledge?
Yeah, I've seen the Twitter thing. Have you seen... Like, it's honestly not that much worse than down smash. It's just that Knuckles is kind of invulnerable. Or hard to hit, rather.
He is fully intangible until the hitbox comes out.
Oh, so he's guaranteed to at least trade. That's kind of whack.
Yeah.
That move in general is like... That feels... Oh, that's unfortunate. I got the meteor.
I held up.
That move in general feels like... It feels like a reworked brawl move. More so than a unique move from... A competitive balance mod. It's weird.
Yeah, Knuckles is a 3.0 character.
He's literally DLC.
Yeah. I wasn't ready for that like shockwave hitbox to hit me.
Yeah, that is the
I don't know
kind
why
of.
he has that.
All right, let's not start. Let's not start turning into this. I'll jokingly.
It's so easy though.
I'll jokingly complain about stuff like till the cows come home, but it is especially in like a lesson focused on like improvement. There's a certain point where it's like, okay, yeah, Knuckles has really good grabs and throws and stuff, and I mean, I guess you can OS that meteors, right? There's no reason not to.
I was trying to meter cancel. I was just holding up.
And you have tap. Oh wait, even without tap jump, that's how it works. That's right.
Yeah, well, yeah. When you hold up, you can't meter cancel. Like if you're holding up when you get meteored, it like locks you out of meter canceling.
Oh yeah. Because even if you don't have tap jump on, it locks you out of meteor cancel. Like it sees a meteor cancel input, and it's like, no, not allowed.
Yeah, I don't know how I kept it so close when I just basically SD'd twice.
Yeah, you're pretty good.
Maybe.
So something that Yono has done a lot, when he's not sure what you're going to do, he spot dodges.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounds like a really stupid observation. But that opens up a window of punishment. Also, another example of like, here you picked the option that got you shield grabbed. Especially when he's only at 5, right? Like, even with the worst DI in the world, he gets back like with a jump. So now he gets the grab, he gets the tech chase, he gets you to ledge, and he plays the game. All that came from the forward smash. That's a very scary situation. Okay, he saw the ring. Yeah.
Yeah, that dash tag was meant to be like crouch down tilt, but I didn't enter my run. I was still in dash.
Yeah, it can be kind of hard to tell when exactly you enter the run.
Yeah, I should do it really late too. I just missed it.
I think overall, this, especially with like you were saying your SDs, this was a pretty close set, and this also is a good example of like some of the things that are getting you hurt. Like as you're playing the higher level players, stuff like this F smash is going to get punished more and more, and punished big. Like with this wave dash into run into grab, where like okay, you get tech chased or you get chain grabbed or up throw whatever because you're a fast faller. So this is, in a way, it is a little bit of a good, like, it's a good way to break the habit because you're going to get hurt for it, so long as you're aware that it's a habit and aware that that's why you're getting hit here. And same thing with with your SDI turning into a jump. That's something you need to, even if you lose out on SDI is, in this instance, is a minor optimization versus the risk of losing your jump.
Yeah.
Maybe
losing jump is like a critical failure kind of thing.
Right. Losing your jump's how you die here. Like, both right now and, like, in similar situations. So it might be worth, like, holding left, like, holding your DI with the left stick and then using the C stick for SDI. Just so this kind of thing doesn't happen. Because I guarantee you, as soon as that ring came out, Yona's going, oh, thank goodness, I can just fair. Like,
yeah. Do you still get ASDI inputs if you, like, hold a direction on the control stick?
I think you get one. Because that's how ASDI down works.
Okay.
So, like, you whiff a move, you hold down, you get the one input. And then you are, like, it's weaker CC, basically.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of a weird thing to work on, I guess, but it's maybe just kind of simplify it for now. Simplify your SDI, unless you really, like, if it's like Fox up air or something, or like something you need to SDI or you'll die, you're going to die if you don't, so might as well. But
yeah,
in those situations where, especially at lower percents, you really don't want to be, you never want to be jumping on accident, especially in a game like Smash as a fast faller when you're way above the ground. You got all that space to fall before you can play your game. But I think overall, this is, in addition to this being like a very good tournament run, very good sets, you mentioned that you were very, especially during the TS set, you were super like nervous and anxious.
Yes.
And it might be hard for you to see from like an outside perspective. That doesn't come through. Like, aside from that one instance at the end of the game with Tia, like, where you both were kind of like just making some pasta.
Yeah.
That's the only real instance where I was like, okay, Atari's confused, concerned, or scared or something, right? Mm-hmm. Everything else, even though you were on last stock against Yono, like, this was an SDI error. It wasn't, I know this wasn't a panic jump.
Yeah. It was definitely me trying to SDI.
Right. And it might, like that dash attack, that might be like a very small that might be like a small, like a symptom of the panic being like, oh, I missed my thing slightly because you're thinking about it a little bit more. Excuse me. Because when you
what I should have done there is wave dash. I should have like forward through and then wave dashed forward.
Yeah, that probably would have been a better way to get that precision.
Right here, just like wave dash in. I'm like in the perfect spacing right in front of him.
Yep. But one of the reasons you miss this is just because when you're panicking or scared or anxious or like you're distracted slightly, even you start thinking about stuff. So it becomes like, hey Atari, how do you tie your shoes?
Yeah.
Right?
How do you run cancel down tilt?
Yeah. How do you punish the tech in place? Can I get an extension on the project? But yeah, I think those are, I don't want to say they're minor things, but like those are clear points where you can work on, and especially the SDI jump thing, where you can work on to be like, okay, this is an improvement in my consistency, or in not the opposite of consistency, but the kind of like variability, right? Of like that throw combo I keep going back to, where you got that jab knockdown, you got all that because you said, hey, let's try something. And it turned out, not only did it turn out to work, but also the fact that you're willing to try something means that it's not a calm decision. So like in a set, right? If we're playing and you hit me, you deal 50%. You hit me again, you deal 50 more percent. The third time you hit me, I die. I'm very calmly making my decisions about my risks of getting hit because I know what's going to happen. But if you do some whack stuff like that, throw off plat, fall off up air, like shark the jump, like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen now. And that is anxiety inducing and panic inducing. And that's how, that's how last stock situations like this, like if you hit this down tilt, that is one avenue, that kind of panic of like, wait, what am I going to get hit by? Is this F smash or down tilt at 60? I have to guess for my life.
Yes.
That's the kind of situation where you can really, really abuse that kind of human hesitation, right? All right, so that was a lot.
Yeah, I know I said this a few times, but before my set with Tia, when we sat down, I like asked her because I know she like we have talked about like getting like anxious during tournaments, and so I asked her like how do you feel, and she's like I feel good, I feel calm, or, like collected mostly. And she's like how about you? And I'm like I feel fucking terrible. And then that's also funny because in the game, I feel like she played more nervous than I did.
At least going off of only the game, yeah. Aside from that one instance, it seemed like you were a little more in control of the set. You were doing a good job shutting down her side Bs, and also just kind of holding center, and your punishes were a little like, I say wackier in the sense that like the unpredictable variable nature, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of automatically puts the defender in this like, what am I going to get hit by? You need to play the what if game as the defender when that happens. And I'm sure playing what ifs is not good long term for staying calm. But if you can force them to do that, you can. It's not like a conscious thing to get in their heads, but it is it's a nice little bonus of like they have to manage this thing, this human like anxiety. Because they also have to play the what if game.
Yeah. So yeah, the Yono set was definitely the one that I needed the most. Like, what do you call it? Like the most advice on, I guess, because obviously that was the set that I lost. But I know like you're not super knowledgeable about Knuckles.
Yeah.
So I got the few things is that just be more cognizant of like combo DI.
Yeah.
Obviously the SDI thing is just like a small optimization to not die randomly sometimes. I think
so be more willing to directly challenge the glide. Especially when you had the read that he was going to glide in air, but you did the kind of weird counter option instead of just spacing the sword like you do for everything else.
Yeah.
And you're better at spacing the sword than like knowing the startup of counter. Not because you're bad at using counter, it's because you space the sword with every other moment of your gameplay, and you use counter like on accident sometimes, occasionally on purpose. Not you, but like the character in general too.
Yeah.
So like it's a little bit of like a stick to what you know. Like don't save one move for one specific situation unless you're really aware and confident in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So like in 3.6, Mewtwo's would windbox Snake Recovery, but they wouldn't like. That was because we saw Frozen do it. We stole it from her, and then it was like, oh hey, we're aware of the situation. We have the C4 setup time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like a neutral interaction. There's that moment of preparation. And counter's kind of the same way in that sense, but you're still guessing on when he's gonna press Nair.
Yeah, it comes out so late that it's like definitely a timing thing.
Right.
Like it's like more egregiously so like a timing. It's like a little mini game, in a sense, or like
yes.
I've explained it in the sense where because Marth's and Ike's counters start up faster and last significantly longer, you're just asking the question of are they going to attack? But because Roy's starts up so late and has half the active duration, you're not only asking are they going to attack, but you're also asking if so, when.
Right.
And so that's why using Roy's counter in that situation is bad, because it's inconsistent.
Right. There's too many variables.
Yeah.
Versus
unless there's a Firefox or a PK Thunder 2 coming at you, in which case it's a consistent timing.
Right. And this is the same true of swatting them away with Fair, but with Fair, you can land and you're much safer. Like, extraordinarily safer.
Yes.
Even at this percent, you could CC if you were early and you're on the ground. If you're late, you were going to be late either way. Like, it's kind of like mitigating the negative effects of being wrong. Like, again, taking the risks that won't kill you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. You'll see a lot of floaties do that, especially where, like, let's say in the Roy matchup, right? The only thing that'll kill me at certain percent is like falling down here or just raw F smash. So that becomes the thing to look out for. At 70%, it's going to be raw F smash near the corner or like holding down, or it's going to be like falling down or on a spot dodge. And even then, there might be extra work, but like a forward air, a forward tilt, even a tip or down tilt, is gonna be like, it's fine. So you'll see the opponents will play like they'll be more willing to be hit by like things that don't kill them. So like, let's say if tip or down tilt doesn't kill at whatever percent in whatever matchup, the details aren't important. Then you can infer that like, opponent will do thing that opponent will not care about risk of getting hit by down tilt. Opponent will do thing that beats non-down tilt options. X will beat not down tilt. I'm naming my variables differently, but that's fine. Do down tilt. So if they're going to do... So like, if I don't get hit by down tilt, I'm going to pick something else that's very, very likely within down tilt range because I don't care. Because I can cover more options if I'm in down tilt range. So if I'm picking something that's going to beat down everything that's not down tilt, there might be an option you have that is a little more niche or a little more like call out, like run up grab, or something that's a little like normally down tilt would just serve that function. But at X percent in X matchup, maybe down tilt doesn't do that. So you have to remind them, there's other stuff I can do that make you not want to be on the ground or not want to be at the spacing.
Okay.
Because this could be, tech chase. It could be a DI mix-up. It opens back up that tree of options versus like, tip or down tilt at X percent, right? Might just be like... might only lead to like sour fare, which is another one of those like this is why Marthritis exists basically. both on Marth and on the characters. If you get to the point where none of your options threaten a kill, or only one of them threatens a kill, they can just play around the one that does threaten a kill and just deal with your like shitty moves that don't kill and for hella percent. So if you can put them in situations, teching especially gives you a lot of time to like either set up, let's say for Roy, right? Set up a like a close down tilt, or a forward smash tech chase, or a down air, or a falling up air. Any number of things, depending on situation and thing you're trying to punish, or a DI mix up. Maybe they're close enough for just F smash on bad DI, or sour up air, or like strong up air. You can lead to kill. Here, let me actually.
I will say I did kind of get lost in there a little bit. So
okay,
just like a little.
So,
like bring it all together.
Bring it all together, right? So if there's a position in a matchup where an option that you like a lot that is very important no longer leads to a kill, then the opponent will likely not care about that.
Yeah.
So they will pick options they're more likely to pick options that lose to, in this case, down tilt, because getting hit by down tilt doesn't matter to them.
Okay. Yeah.
This is where if they're picking options that lose to something, it might be better to not take the bait and to do something different that is more variable, like run up grab instead of that spacing. Because, I guess, just for Roy's example, right? Run up grab gives you opportunities. It can be a DI trap, in which case, if they're wrong, they die. It could be a tech chase, in which case, if you're right, they die. Versus, if you just keep using tip or down tilt, just racking up percent for no real reason, you get like maybe sour fare, and this just leads into, hey, this character's not going to care about down tilt. You haven't really you've gotten maybe like 20%. You haven't gotten significant stage. You haven't convinced them of anything. The opponent doesn't have to worry about anything. If this is their entire risk, they're going to just take the risk every time. Excuse me. So the variability, it doesn't have to be run up grab specifically, but like any amount of variability that leads into situations that can kill is going to make that position more difficult, right? So like, they're not going to be in range where run up grab is a good option, because run up grab might kill them. Mm-hmm. So they're still going to have to play in those ranges sometimes, but they're going to have to worry about it.
So I basically need to remind them that they're not playing against like a Dark Souls boss, right? Yeah. They're playing against an actual thinking person that can mix up their options.
Right. So like maybe instead of doing another example, instead of always doing shield drop up air, maybe there are certain percents where instead of shield drop up air, maybe shield drop like land on platform, or like shield drop jump through plat dare, or just taking the pressure instead of the sour up air, right? Like let me actually remove this, and let's call this, unknown. It doesn't matter what the specific option is, but the point is that it could be something that could lead to a DI trap, or lead to a tech chase, or lead to something that can lead to the kill. Mm-hmm. Because down tilt doesn't. And especially once you get them at higher percents, as Roy, your edge guarding isn't like consistent enough against most of the cast to where that's a consistent game plan. Your goal is to make them hit the blast zone. So if down tilt doesn't make them hit the blast zone, or doesn't get you any closer to doing that, you need to kind of like stop doing it for a little bit. Okay. Or use it in a different way, right? You can use down tilt as like just purely space control. It's still good at that. As space control. Or as like a CC option, just to kind of like get them off of you. But there's power and variability. Mm-hmm. Like there's also power in kill confirms, right? Like Knuckles down throw fair is strong, but
I was talking to Domlax. I don't know if you know them. They're a Connecticut TO and player. They said they were talking to Kate.
Kate.
And Kate was like watching one of his Dalmax's Dalmax's sets. Sorry. And there was like a list of like things to like work on. One of them was never do the same thing between stocks twice. like unless it's broken. And
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
I thought about that, and I realized, like, you can get a lot of kills if like free kills if people do the same thing in between stocks.
Mm-hmm.
And I started doing that where I would mix up where I would go between stocks, and I realized I got away from a lot of pressure.
Yep.
And so that was that point that was like I realized like being unpredictable is like almost as good as like being like frame tight or like so like execution perfect.
Right. Optimal. There's situations where being like optimal or like your character has a thing that'll just kill them, and in that situation, great. Like do Mewtwo up throw at 150. There's no reason to do anything else.
Yeah.
But in situations where your character doesn't have that, which is a lot of them, a lot of the times being unpredictable can lead you to situations where even if they know the DI for things, you can still kind of enforce like, hey, combo DI or survival DI, guess for your life now. Guess for your tournament stock now, right?
Yeah. And there's so much power in saying guess for stock now.
Yeah.
Or like guess for game.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I love the situation in Street Fighter when someone gets knocked down and it's just like, guess for game. Okay.
Guess for game.
I gotta. I can't not. Why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that I should have still had my timer on. I turned it off early and I went on a tangent.
Yeah. Except when you're playing Marvel, where every guess is a guess for game.
Yeah, you're at the character select screen. I pick Phoenix right. I'm like, oh, I guess wrong. Oh well. I'm having fun watching my character die though. Youch. But yeah, this kind of thing is like you're saying. There's power in unpredictability. Doing something different every time can condition them to expect something different every time, which is then in itself unpredictable if you do the same thing again. Like it's a whole. Yeah. It's a snake eating its own tail. It's an Ouroboros kind of shenanigans.
Ouroboros.
Yeah. You get the complete global saturation.
Basically, time is a flat circle.
Yes. This is known. All right. Yeah, that being said, I think that kind of finding more positions to enforce your conditioning and kind of like, hey, guess for stock, right? Or guess for like 80%.
Yeah.
Like, because you have the combo game to like make the stakes that high. Of like, hey, I grabbed you on a platform, guess for stock maybe. Or guess for at least 60, right? And then, oh, hey, you guessed wrong. And or like, I just mixed up your moves and you're dead. Yeah. So being able to utilize that as much as possible offensively is great. And then, obviously, like you mentioned, defensively, being able to mix that up and be like, hey, guess for the chance to hit me is great too. Because Roy's movement is pretty solid with his dash dance. Down tilt's a very like threatening move to run into, and then I know it's not the best thing for straight walling, but like your fall speed plus your fair makes it kind of hard to get in on you sometimes if that's what you're committed to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Roy's got a lot of versatility in that way. All right, if there's anything else you want to talk about, or I think it's about time to call it. So.
Yeah,
last call.
I did have a question.
Shoot, yeah.
If I wanted to like look at my own VODs, just to, like for like improvement reasons, is it like I realized like what you were doing was kind of just like an overall like decision making in terms of like strategy kind of thing. But what I've seen a lot of people do is they'll like literally analyze like every like input. Or like every single move, or like every single dash, and be like, why this was good, why this was bad. Do you think like there's merit to like one or the other, or like should I do one or the other more?
I think there's definitely merit. Maybe not that minute of like you dash backwards here. Why? It's good to have like purpose to things, but I think that is a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Maybe like broaden it a little bit to like, oh, off of this down tilt, I got. That's an I. Off of this down tilt, I got moves A. This was my string. Maybe, like we even did earlier, right? Like, you realize, oh, after this combo, I could have done brawl, pivot, grab, and then had a DI mix up, and then had a little bit more to go with, right? On Darkgun, on Green Hill.
Yeah.
So, like, that kind of thing, being like having an alternative, like, you could be this, like, it could be blue, or it could be yellow. And especially when it's so DI dependent, sometimes being maybe sometimes it'll be yellow and then blue and then stay blue, or go back to yellow or whatever. Being able to kind of like almost like a modular like fit bits and pieces in, I think that's a big advantage to going like kind of interaction by interaction on VOD review, because it makes it easier to see like, oh, this short hop up air here is good at doing this. Oh, I could use the short hop up air here next time. There's definitely merit to that. I just don't like doing it because I already talk enough.
Yeah.
So maybe it's because I talk about like the broader stuff, but
yeah, you definitely like talking about the more abstract concepts of fighters, and it is very important. I think that's like the thing is I think it's also like one of my strong suits already.
Gotcha.
Is I'm good at thinking in that line of thought, so that's why it came to me like, yeah, this is a lot of stuff that I'm already like, I already know, I'm already like familiar with. So I was thinking like, what else can I do to improve?
Gotcha. I think definitely going over like I'll say interaction review.
Yeah. So like broaden it from like move choice analysis to like just every little like every interaction, I guess is the best word.
Right. So like maybe you could, if you really want to get to the nitty gritty, it's like, oh, every time I get hit or they get hit or I like force a whiff, whether I make an execution error or not, right? Like if you dash dance grab something and get nothing, hey, why did that work?
Yeah, that's a lot of things. That's what I've heard a lot is like, look at every time you get hit and ask yourself why you got hit.
Yeah, there's a lot of merit to that. And I don't want to take that away. I just think that sometimes it is. I fall into the trap, at least personally, being like, sometimes you just get hit. Like sometimes you just are wrong.
It's you can't just be like, if I analyze why I get hit over 1,000 games, over 1,000 interactions, I simply won't get hit anymore.
Yep, it's also like sometimes you just have a tech error. Like sometimes you just like what is it? You just upbeat off stage an accident. Like, and that's an extreme example, but like if there's nothing to learn from that, you just goof.
Yeah, it's like crap.
So sometimes if you get too nitty gritty into this, it can be hard to forget. Like sometimes like mistakes happen, right?
Yeah,
mistakes happen, and it's like realize like, oh, I panicked a lot, but it's okay. Like. Sometimes I just guess wrong on DI and it happens. Like, I can try to be as informed as possible, but sometimes, like, it's just a 50-50. Or, like, they just were correct on what I was going to do and they killed me for it.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, oh, I just missed say for Fox, right? I just missed my angle just by a little bit. That's an execution thing you can practice, but it's not, like, a thing to...
Yeah, that's not for VOD review. That's for solo practice.
Right. That review only tells you what you have to do. It doesn't tell you what like you can do, if that makes sense. That's a really minor difference.
Yeah. But I see what you're saying. Like you can't like extrapolate further than just execute better.
Right. I think there's definitely also a point to be made of like, when do you do the easy thing? When do you go for the easy like down tilt F smash? Or down tilt up air F smash versus like down tilt, I need the stock, right? There's a time and a place for a lot of combo theory and a lot of like execution. Oh boy. Well, the ampersand's pretty nice.
Yeah. That was one thing that Arsenals was talking to me about.
Oops.
Whenever I play against Falcon, like Stude and Jarrett, I'll go for a lot of like combo extensions when he said like you should just like hit him off stage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, but I know they're gonna hold in, and I can get if I down tilt these different extensions. And if they go on the platform, I know exactly how to cut. And he's like, just hit him off stage. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not usually Roy's strategy, but it is a little bit of like you could get Falcon to 120 and maybe kill them, or you could just guarantee get them off stage at 80. Yeah. And then it's Falcon off stage, so cool.
I think the Green Hill Zone game like really like perspective, like damn, I really can just combo them to 200 and then not kill them.
It was 160.
Why don't I just hit them off stage instead?
Yep.
Yeah, exaggeration obviously, but the idea
not by that
like,
much though. Yeah.
Yeah, like hyperbole aside, the the idea still stands. Like, just hit the funny race car man off stage.
Yeah, and that's a kind of an uncommon an uncommon strategy for Roy against a lot of the cast because that's not what he usually does.
Yeah, Roy's not the greatest edge guarder at all.
But Falcon's by far a worse recoverer than Roy is an edge guarder. Yeah. Okay, I think that's about the unofficial bell.
Yeah.
Thank you for booking Atari. It's been really fun going over your set.
Absolutely. Have you seen the image where it's like teens after one, like, and there's like marijuana, crack, and then P plus.
Teens after one VOD review. Recoverer. Like picture of Roy holding his blade. Like, okay, and let's old fogey. Let's close the stream now. Let's get you your water. All right. But yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for going over this with me.
It's been my pleasure, with me
on the what do you call it? Like being able to do so much for me.
Yeah, I mean you're doing a lot for yourself too. It is really, really cool how you've kind of like got a lot of control over your maybe not your mental like stress levels during a set because that's not in your control, but like it's not getting to your hands, which is really important.
Yeah. Also, I don't think I told you. Did I tell you how I did last night?
Last night? No, you didn't. How'd you do?
So, I had a bye, and then I played Lowman round 1. I 3-0'd him. I played Justin. After that, he played Wolf. I got 3-0'd. And then after that, I had to play RJ for 5th. I 3-0'd him.
Oh, yes.
So the thing with RJ is he's switched to box.
Ah, gotcha.
And this, like yesterday, was the first night that he won a set on box.
Oh, good for him. But I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been rough for him, and he's getting there. He definitely is getting there. But I was definitely very happy because the last time we played, he was using controller still, and
in tournament.
Yeah. And I did reverse 3-0 him in that set, so that made me happy. So in this past tournament, I did 3-0 him. It was closer than I expected it to be, but I still we were like talking, and he like said something like you're like so much better than me now, and I was like, wait, like, do you actually think I'm better than you? And he said I think like RJ said he thinks he's like better like mentally than me, like he can make better decisions, but like practically in game he says like even controller versus controller, like he thinks that I'm better than him now, which was very, very that was very happy hearing that because RJ was like
just really good.
Out of all the people I like looked up to like learn from when I was like learning the game, RJ was probably the person I looked up to the most and went to for help the most. And so hearing him say that like just made me feel so warm inside.
That's good.
So there's that, and then I played Stewed after that, and Stewed has kind of been my demon for a little bit. I've been winning some of the more recent sets, but not all of them, and I did 3-0 him as well. It was on top of a lot of like revelations that I've made. Experience playing other people obviously helps. I've also just gotten more consistent in my decision making. I think it's just like playing the game, thinking about the game more. It's crazy. The more you do something, the better you get at it. I don't.
What? Okay, Atari, hold on. I'm the coach here, Atari. That's clearly wrong. I'm gonna shut you down hard. I usually don't.
No, it's so crazy. But hear me out. Yeah, I don't know. I just like was playing. I'm just playing so well recently, and it's really been paying off. And then I played Justin again, and I took a game. I did take a game.
Hell yeah.
That did happen. But Wolf is funny.
Wolf's a good character.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely felt very, very good about beating RJ and then 3-0ing Stewed in that fashion when usually we'll either go to game 5 or I'll just get steamrolled.
That's good then. Hell yeah. Being on the other end of it this time.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I'm going to let you go. I got to prepare another session here in a little bit.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, thank you again for booking. It's been really fun going over these sets.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Jasper.
My pleasure. I'll try to shoot you the VOD later tonight.
Yeah, sure thing.
Okay.
All right, later.
See ya.